The films of 2026 are singing a different tune than those of the year before. Less about fantasy villains like in Sinners,
Sammy,
Weapons, and The Conjuring, and more about the darkness within ourselves. The drama starring Zendaya and Robert Pattinson revolves around an engaged couple's wedding week that is suddenly derailed by an unsettling truth revealed at a dinner party. They Will Kill You follows a young woman who answers a cryptic ad for a housekeeping job, only to discover she's being offered up as a human sacrifice to a satanic cult. And of course, the highly anticipated Devil Wears Prada sequel, where fashion world bullies prey on bright-eyed hopefuls. That sounds a lot like the plot of America's Next Top Model. Now, call me too woke, call me a conspiracy theorist, call me all the things, but I can't help but notice an underlying theme in the films coming out this year. Human beings doing bad things. Stay with me now. There are many horrors in the world we live in. In 1815, the eruption of Mount Tambora in Indonesia ejected so much ash and sulfuric acid into the stratosphere that it created a global solar veil. The solar veil reflected sunlight away from the Earth, changing the ecology of the globe temporarily. This led to what was called the Year Without a Summer. In 1816, there was frost in July. The cold weather induced widespread crop failure and famine in Europe, North America, and in parts of South Asia. And it was in the midst of this gloom that Mary Shelley was inspired to write Frankenstein, a literary reflection of the apocalyptic atmosphere of the time. The eruption remains the most powerful volcanic eruption in recorded history. Natural disasters and freak accidents remind us that the Earth itself can be terrifying. But alongside these uncontrollable forces are thieves, killers, bullies, and the perpetrators of certain heinous acts mentioned in certain heinous files. Time and time again, we are forced to confront an unsettling truth. People have the capacity to be monsters. The nature of the world we share is that it holds good and evil and everything in between. And that complexity exists within people too. A core belief of mine, echoed in many philosophies and spiritual traditions around the world, is that there is duality in all things, especially in human nature.
Tales of your incompetence do not interest me.
You may have had a boss like Miranda Priestley in Devil Wears Prada, whose responsibilities seem to include making your life miserable, or in-laws that you can never seem to please, like the in-laws in Focker-in-Law, the fourth film in the Focker franchise coming out this December. Then there's Micheal, the Michael Jackson biopic that's set for an April release that makes a villain out of Coleman Domingo, turning him into Joe Jackson, who was notoriously known as a harsh and abusive monster of a man to his children and others. And don't get me started on the Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping. The whole premise of the Hunger Games is powerful humans punishing less powerful humans to prevent them from uprising again. Think of the real-life Squid Games that are Mr. Beast's large-scale elimination contest.
A 1-year-old who will race every age all the way up to a 100-year-old, and they're gonna compete for $250,000.
If we're talking evil reality TV show hosts, Tyra Banks has nothing on him. These challenges will prey on the desperation and financial vulnerabilities of the participants and turn their endurance into content. Another film coming out this year is Star Wars: The Mandalorian and Grogu. Star Wars is another major film franchise that centers around one of the most atrocious crimes humankind is capable of: war. Now, I've never seen a single Star Wars movie, so I can't speak on the franchise directly, but I can speak on the ways war subsumes individual agency into a group mind. As usual with the topics I cover, there's a Black Mirror episode that beautifully illustrates this all. The episode Men Against Fire follows new army recruit Stripe on his first mission to deal with a roach problem. In this world, roaches are vampire-like monsters that the military targets and eliminates. Stripe and other soldiers are given the ultimate military weapon, known as MASS, an implant that helps with intel and targeting. After Stripe's first 2 roach kills, he looks at a device that one of the roaches drops. The device interferes with his implant and shuts it off. Once it's disabled, Stripe awakens to the reality that MASS makes ordinary people look like monsters. In short, Men Against Fire explores what happens when you remove the human element from war.
You can't still see them as human.
Dehumanizing the enemy is a cruel but commonly used tactic in real life. Without empathy, soldiers don't feel guilt. Instead, they feel righteous about the genocide they're participating in. We may find some relief in the Wayans brothers' long-awaited Scary Movie 6, and I cannot wait. The return of the silly adult comedies is here. This and Focker-in-Law are movies that I'm really looking forward to this year. I also find it interesting how many sequels, threequels, and fourquels are coming out this year. In times of uncertainty, we humans love us some familiarity, and I'm glad we're getting it. People steal, they lie, they manipulate, they hurt. But they also do all the opposite of those things. Look, I really struggled with writing an end to this video that didn't too easily humanize and sympathize with real life villains, but in humanizing them, I think it's a good reminder that we're all capable of unspeakable things. But to live in a society with others is to accept that and choose to live in peace rather than in chaos. Morals are taught, not inherited. And yes, everyone has different understandings of right and wrong. Bending the truth may not feel like lying to some, but to others, it certainly is. And since there's no universal agreement on morality, it's up to every individual in every moment to choose to do the right thing. We're all capable of causing harm. Remember how in Scooby-Doo, the ghosts and ghouls were always revealed to be some disgruntled adult in a mask?
Zoinks! It's Mr. Carswell, the bank president.
How about that?
The reality is that monsters don't exist, and behind every scary mask is someone that looks like you and me. And if that's not terrifying enough, I don't know what is. In this life, there are many evils. I hope we can all strive not to be one of them. And that is all I have for you guys today. I'd like to invite you, as always, to subscribe to the channel so you can be the first to watch these videos in full. I get a lot of comments on my TikToks like, where's the full video? Where's the full video? And here it is. If you subscribe, then you get early access to it, and you don't have to wait for all the parts to come out on TikTok. So if you're here from TikTok, what's up? Welcome. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Comment your favorite monsters. I'd love to hear.